Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show powered by ComEd. It's getting easier for your business to switch to electric vehicles. Learn more at comed.com/clean. Thanks for being here. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen. Mario Tirabassi is at the United Center and will join us after Luke Richardson and the victorious Chicago Blackhawks play. The Hawks win in the shootout 2-1, a 9-round shootout, and buddy, it was ugly, but a win is a win is a win is a win, and the Blackhawks will take it.
Sure. Man, you were like sitting here with Mario. We were talking to our guy Sean Anderson from CHGO White Sox in between morning skate and the game. And he was just like, oh, man, Sharks and Blackhawks, like, you know, two worst teams in the league, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, it's going to be bad hockey.
Yes.
I just wanted it to be fun bad. I wanted like a 6-5 crazy game. Like, I wouldn't mind it a shootout if it was like everybody was scoring.
Right.
Instead, we got the exact opposite. We got boring, bad, sloppy, maybe the worst shootout I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was not good.
But you're right. It is 2 points. You'll take it.
Sure.
You would have hoped you didn't need a 9-round shootout to beat a San Jose Shark team that got its ass handed to it. Here's your ass. By the Buffalo Sabres yesterday, 3-0.
Opponent.
Yeah. But whatever. They won. Thankfully, they only have to play the Sharks 2 more times this year.
Oh, God.
Because that was bad. That was, from start to finish, bad.
You got dominated by the worst team in hockey.
They followed the script. Score the first goal.
Yes.
Play okay to start the second period, but as the period goes on, you start losing momentum and then get dominated in the third period. That has been the MO of this team. This was the third straight game they took a 1-0 lead into the third period, and the first time they won, and they barely won. And the San Jose Sharks were 126-1 this season when trailing after 2 periods, and almost got that probably should have got that second win. A couple posts, a crossbar. Petr Mrazek, great again. When's that 2-year extension going to get announced?
It feels like soon. We'll get to that a little bit later. I definitely want to talk about that. We're going to talk about Jason Dickinson's extension as well. But first, we want you to do a couple things for us. Smash that like button for us on the YouTube page. Make sure you are following and subscribe to our YouTube page as well. Same deal on whatever your favorite podcast app is. And if you could take 30 seconds to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, that would be greatly appreciated. You also need to vote for the game's 4 stars. We do every game. Here were your 3 stars of the game. Cole Guttman had a goal and a fight. He was an assist away from a Gordie Howe hat trick.
Well, you have to score 2 goals in order to get a Gordie Howe hat trick.
I guess so.
Your team has to, and that's just not on the menu these days.
Nope. Boris Kachuk with the shootout winner, and Petr Mrazek, your number 1 star, stopping 37 of 38 San Jose shots. So here are your 4th star candidates. Philip Kurashev with 4 shots on goal, 6 shot attempts. He was playing like a man possessed in this game. The numbers don't really represent it, but from the moment the puck dropped until the moment the game ended, Philip Kurashev was the most engaged and active Blackhawk by a significant margin. I liked his game a lot tonight.
No, he was very aggressive out there, especially on that overtime power play. I mean, he's the one who drew the penalty in the first place. Good game for Philip Kurashev. He keeps, even without Connor Bedard on his line, he's still looking good.
Yeah, I think we have our answer on Kurashev. I think he's a dude.
Yeah,
he's a dude that matters.
He could stick around. He'll be very effective on this team when all the guys who are going to be here are here and contributing.
He'll be a great bottom 6 forward. Your second candidate for 4-star of the game, Alex Vlasic. The winner of the Vlasic Bowl, 27-21 of ice time, a shot on goal, 2 shot attempts, a block shot, and saved a goal in the second period. There was a sequence where the Sharks had 2 quick shots on goal. Mrazek stopped both, and then a rebound popped right out in front. Vlasic very calmly put his stick right in the lane, blocked the shot. The shot went off the post, and the Hawks lived to fight another day. Mrazek was absolutely fantastic. He was as we go to the blue lines after every game, he was the highest rated skater in the entire game. Then you have to go 16 Sharks before you get to a Hawk on the blue lines. This Blackhawks team was dominated by the worst team in hockey. And look, I know that Bedard's out. I know Foligno's out. I know you lost Nikita Zaitsev for the third period. This team is not healthy, but that Sharks team, I would say 80% of the roster, I had to be like, who's this? I've never heard of this guy. I've never heard of this guy. I've never heard of this guy.
The Sharks have a roster made up of made-up dudes.
Yeah.
I knew William Eklund only because I wrote a draft profile on him a couple years ago. I wanted the Hawks to get him.
Yes.
I've obviously heard of Teenage Mutant Ninja Hurdle.
Yep. Stud.
I
Philip
forgot.
Zadina, because he's a draft bust, apparently.
Sure. I know, obviously, Mark-Edouard Vlasic, the lesser of the Vlasics.
The lesser Vlasic, my friend.
I know. I've remembered when I got there that Jan Ruda is playing on this team. Obviously,
and goal scorer Ryan Carpenter.
Yes, Blackhawks legend.
Yep.
Mike Hoffman, I forgot, was on a Shark. Pudwack.
He is a suspected Pudwack.
Listen,
Rumored Pudwack.
If you let your partner do what she did, you're a Pudwack.
That needs a name too, like spouse of Pudwack. What's a female Pudwack? Let us know
what I'm saying it on the air.
A pusswack?
That could be it.
I don't know. Somebody let us know what the non-problematic female version of a Pudwack is.
Yeah, it's well, there's a 4-letter word you could use, but we won't use it.
We won't use that.
We are not broadcasting live from Ireland tonight. Hoffman. I know he was
It
on
doesn't matter.
Mikhail Granlund. I've heard of, but
Sure.
like 10 of those guys. Tonight was the night that I used the event summary score sheet all night long. Like, who's that? Who's that?
The Sharks roster is, if you were to go through like Elliot Friedman's tweet and like search and it's like putting quotes waivers, it's like a list of guys who have been on waivers.
It's like,
And then we get talks and say, hey, why not pick up Mike Hoffman? That's their entire roster aside from Philip Hurdle or Thomas Hurdle.
it's that scene from Major League where they're looking at the roster in the newspaper. Who
guy
are these
here is
fucking
dead.
guys? We'll cross them off then. Yeah,
Anyway,
they're
look,
a bad team. Oh,
we
we forgot Anthony Duclair,
course.
another Blackhawks legend.
Yeah, he didn't. Did he? He didn't play though.
Did he? No, he didn't. I don't recall seeing him once.
He is the best Shark by.
Yeah, he
well,
did
him
not
and
play
Hurdle.
tonight. That's why
Yeah.
they won. Or Thomas Hurdle.
So there you go. There's your equalizer. But yeah, it was just boy, it was
Bad.
It was a tough game to watch. Even like
Bad,
from
bad.
puck drop, it felt like in terms of because it was a smaller crowd, about 16,000 ish, give or take in this one. And it had the feel of an early 2000s Hawks game where people are like, yeah, I won tickets on a radio station, so I might as well show up. Like, there was just not a lot of buzz. It was very quiet, very early in. And it was, look, I'm glad it's over, but it's what we said to Nick Foligno yesterday. Like, the Hawks have this knack of coming up against these teams that they're expected to beat, and they don't play well.
They should not be expected to beat anybody.
That's right.
They should not be.
I mean,
they have not earned that right. Maybe early in the season when you had this team healthy and you had Bedard and Taylor Hall and Anthony Ciu and Foligno and even, our former Pudwack. Like, when you had that lineup and that, like, if you played this Sharks team in October, then you'd be like, yeah, the Hawks should kick their ass.
Yeah,
but
right.
now,
Yeah.
no, you should not expect this team to win a game for the rest of the season.
All right. Make sure you keep joining us after shows, though.
You could never be disappointed that
No,
way.
you're right. Did we mention Seth Jones is the third candidate for star of the
I
game?
don't think we did. And his 11 shot attempt.
He had 11 shot attempts. That's why he played almost 30 minutes.
30 minutes. So that's why.
But I will say, not a great game for him. There were some pucks fumbled. There were some turnovers. He almost put the puck in his own net in overtime. But when you have 11 shot attempts on this team, you're going to get applauded just for putting the puck on net.
It pretty much was like, here's a peek behind the curtain. Oh, we got to do 4-star. All right. Kurashev had a good game. Vlasic was very good. And then we looked at the stats, and we're like, I guess Seth Jones, 11 shot attempts, 29 minutes. I mean, nobody else on this list can come close to those stats.
No. It was pretty ugly. It was just, like you said, I was hoping for mayhem.
Fun bad.
High score, like you said,
Fun bad.
Exactly.
That was not fun bad. That was bad.
Yeah, it was not
Painful
good.
bad.
Oh, boy. Sean Cassidy with the comments, Zadina equals Reichel. Reichel, you had a power play in overtime, and it took 90 seconds of a 2-minute power play to get Reichel on the ice during that power play. And you said it during the game. We've mentioned how he's been unnoticeable, like non-factor one way or the other. Tonight he was a factor in a bad way. Yeah, Reichel had a bad game today.
He was a negative effect on the game tonight. Lots of fumbled passes, lots of falling down, lots of missing shots, whiffing. Not a good game. Not a good game. Like, like this was the time where we were hoping Connor Bedard's out. Lucas Reichel, this is your chance. Be the guy.
Yeah.
He's not even a guy.
I'm trying not to, it's hard to not like, we have to do this show we get to do the show 5 days a week. I should be more clear. We have to come on after every game and react and try to be level-headed and objective. But he has had no impact since Bedard's gone down.
No.
What does he have? 1 assist since Bedard's gone down? He's just he can't be nothing. He can't be nothing, and that's what he is out there. And we keep making excuses. He's not even through one NHL season, which is true. He's, guys take time. Progress isn't linear. Yada yada yada. But he's getting the opportunity, and then he's giving the opportunity back. Because he's making poor plays. He's turning it over. He's making no-look passes to no one or the other team. And Luke Richardson's going to look at him and be like, dude, I can't. Well, you are forcing me to take you off the ice.
Yeah. It's obvious that Luke Richardson is not a fan of Lucas Reichel. He won't say it. He can't really do anything but play him right now.
Here it is again. We say this every night. Non-factor. 0 points, -1. 1354, 2 shot attempts. That's his entire line. He is supposed to be your biggest offensive threat. He's the one that's supposed to be looking like Philip Kurashev every night. Shot out of a cannon. And again, we say it all the time. If he ends a game with 3 shots and 5 shot attempts and he's just not having the luck, fine. But my God, he is a non-factor, and that's what scares me. Because young players, the scoring will come. Those sort of things will come. Or you'll have 1 good game and 2 bad games, or whatever the roller coaster might be. With Reichel, it's been flatline or down. There's been no arrow up for him yet.
And he didn't even go to the 4th round of the shootout.
Yeah.
Thank God that Luke put Rem Pitlick, our guy Remington, out there for the 3rd shot. Because he kept that game alive. If Reichel goes out for the 3rd shot, they don't win.
Yeah.
Because he didn't score. He didn't even just kind of like, I'm just going to shoot it right at you and hope you miss it.
It's tough.
There's no confidence there. It's bad. I'm not, I know people have been declaring him a bust since October. I'm not in that. I'm not there yet.
I'm not ready to call him a bust yet.
No. I am calling him a major freaking disappointment right now.
Absolutely.
It's coming from the guy that declared he's going to lead this team in points.
Yeah. And that was not an absurd thought.
When he was playing on his point per game pace at the end of the season last year. But, I just think there's no confidence there, and I don't know how he's going to get it. But he doesn't do anything. I get a lot of people on Twitter when I put the lines out for morning skater practice. I get people, how is Lucas Reichel going to do anything playing on the bottom 6? First of all, right now, there is no top 6, bottom 6 on this team. If you're playing well, you're going to play more. Second of all, he got time to play with Connor Bedard and did nothing with it.
Nothing.
So I don't know what the solution is here, but you just got to ride it out and play it and hope at some point something clicks that makes him go on a little streak for 4 or 5 games where he actually looks like the player we saw last year. I'll take that. Like, if I could get that in back-to-back games,
that's it.
I'd be
baby steps.
So happy.
I saw someone mention it in the chat, like playing with Kurashev. But again, how can Luke Richardson reward Reichel? How can he look at him and say, like, all right, you're getting promoted. You're going to play with a better player. He's done nothing to earn it. And I'm rooting my ass. Like, you sit next to me the whole game. I'm like, come on, Reichel. I say it all the time during the game.
I want him to succeed.
I do too, and I
think he's a good kid. I've covered him in Rockford when he first got there. I obviously, anybody who's a Blackhawk fan should be cheering for him to succeed. I know you're frustrated, but to just be like, you should be happy if and when he does good. Yeah. You should need that, because if Reichel becomes the player that the Blackhawks are hoping is, that's one less spot you have to fill for the next 10 years. But right now it's looking like, well, let's hope that first round pick this year can slide right in and take that spot.
Yeah, Geoist with a solid argument to what we're saying. He says it's not about rewarding, it's about putting players in the best position to succeed. And I agree with that generally, but he was put in positions to succeed and did nothing with it, didn't compete hard enough in the eyes of the coaching staff, and then was demoted and hasn't done anything to re-earn the opportunity.
He's playing with Cole Guttman, who's been one of the best offensive players on this team
for the last 2 weeks. Did you see that between the legs snipe today, my friend?
As I tweeted out, I said, the old between the legs off the defenseman's skate goal works every time.
Yeah.
But Cole Guttman's been one of the most aggressive, effective offensive players.
I agree.
He's playing on that line.
Yep.
So you can argue that he is being put in a position to succeed because he's playing with a guy that is going to shoot the puck every time he gets a chance. Go to the net, stop in front of the net, get a rebound, score a greasy goal.
That's it. That's all you got to do. And like, at some point you got to create your own confidence. You have to create your own luck. But I said, like, I'm always like hoping that it's going to change with Reichel. I said to you, remember that time he got boarded in the San Jose game and it totally turned the season around? Or before, as he was skating for the shootout. Remember that shootout goal that totally turned the season around? Just waiting for it to happen, waiting for that moment to come, and it just is not coming for him. And look, I know no one's more frustrated about this than Lukas Reichel. You can see it out there. I think we're finally starting to see the body language from him of, like, looking to the sky, like there was a chance he had right in front of the net to score and his stick got lifted. And like, I could almost like hear his heart break because it was right there. He was in the right spot. He was ready to shoot. And right as he went to pull the trigger, his shot got lifted. And he was just like, oh, come on. I did everything right on this play. And I get nothing to show for it.
It's a synopsis of his season, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's very, very frustrating.
When it's bad, it's bad. When it's not your year, it's not your year. I said that about Taylor Radish, another guy who's been a major disappointment. The other night against Dallas when he had that wide open net, and then old man Ryan Suter came out of nowhere to block it. And it's like, when it's not your season, it's just not your season.
Yeah.
And it's not either of those guys' seasons.
All right, before we talk to Mario, I'm sure you've seen the news today. 2-year extension for Jason Dickinson, well-earned, and this is very much like the Foligno thing where these guys are here to fill in the gaps, while the prospects get NHL ready. $4.25 million cap hit for the next 2 seasons, so congrats to him. And then, before the game, everyone's favorite insider, Kevin Weeks, not from a bathroom or anywhere this time, but sent out a tweet saying Petr Mrazek has been very consistent this year in goal for the Blackhawks. He loves being there, has been a good fit, enjoys working with goalie coach Jimmy Waite. There's mutual interest with him and the club exploring a deal to stay in Chicago. I think that this is the next 2-3 days pass, maybe a week passes, and they're going to announce an extension for Petr Mrazek too. You did it with Foligno. You did it with Dickinson. It It makes all the sense in the world.
Bridge to Comesso.
Yeah, and like Nick Foligno told us yesterday, and if you missed yesterday's show, a full hour with Nick Foligno, go back and listen. It was great.
Such good stuff.
It wasn't all hockey minutia. We had some fun with him too. Really good stuff. But he says, like, solidifying these guys where guys know they're secure and they're not like, am I going to be here next year? Am I going to be traded at the deadline? They know they're secure. They're locked in, and it sort of changes the tone of the room a little bit, where they know their leader, Nick Foligno, is here. Dickinson's emerged as a more of a lead by example kind of guy, and Mrazek has been nothing but a model citizen and a model teammate since coming to Chicago. The only concern, of course, is his groin.
It hasn't been a problem this year.
It is not.
The best thing about Dickinson, we talked to him this morning after morning skate, and he said that he wished he could have signed a longer extension because he sees what's coming and he wants to be a part of it. Like he said, don't be surprised if we're standing here 2 years from now talking about another extension, because I want to be a part of this. I don't want to be just the building block. I want to be and see it play out. And to get guys like Nick Foligno and Jason Dickinson, who could have very easily walked up to Kyle Davis and said, trade me to a contender. I don't want to be here anymore.
Trade me right effing now.
Trade me to a team that's going to be, in the playoffs. Especially a guy like Foligno, coming to the end of his career, hasn't won a cup. Thought maybe last year was going to be that year. But for those two guys to be like, no, I want to stay. That tells you a lot. And yeah, sure, you could argue, well, the Blackhawks are overpaying for him. Of course they want to stay. Money isn't everything to a guy like Nick Foligno.
Right.
Nick Foligno, I'm sure, would love to win a Stanley Cup, but he thinks it's more important to be a part of something that's leading into that direction. And so I know a lot of people were, maybe if Dickinson keeps playing, we get a first rounder for him.
It's not, no one's giving you a first rounder for Dickinson.
And but how many freaking draft picks do you need? You have 13 picks in the next two drafts in the first 3 rounds. Like at some point, you're going to literally run out of space. You're only allowed to have 90 players in your organization. They're at 75.
Yeah, and
you can't make all these picks.
And Kyle Davidson sort of said as much when he met the media the other day when I injured myself holding my phone. He said all these contracts are going to come due around the same time. And we're going to have too many dudes. Like, you can't have too many dudes.
Right.
I'd be very surprised if there's not a couple deals made at this draft, either for players or to move up in the draft with some of the surplus they have, or if they just trade out. Maybe they trade up a couple spots or trade back a couple spots to get another pick for next year.
Last year, I said there was no way they were going to make all 9 draft picks, and they did.
I know.
There's no way they can do that these next couple of years. It's just too many guys.
Yeah.
It's going to cause problems. I'm glad Dickinson's back. And the things he said this morning, it makes you feel real good. Like that a guy at that age having a career year doesn't want to go someplace else, wants to stay here.
And it shows you that he believes in what Kyle Davidson's doing. And he sees the coach and says, this guy knows what he's doing too. This coach is legit. If Luke Richardson was a disaster, if Luke did not know what was going on, these guys they'd all be gone. Foligno would be like, I'm not playing. Like if it was still Jeremy Colleton, they'd be like, no, get me the F out of here as soon as possible. All right, Mario is standing by. Let's knock out some super chats real quick before we do. Thomas with a $5 chat says, I'm at a loss with Reichel. I want him to live up to that number 27. That's true. Jeffrey Sand with
Ty Jones.
Oh, dude. Adam Boquist. Jeffrey Sand with 2, equaling $13.98. $14.98. My bad. He says, hypothetically, if the Blackhawks were in a game that mattered, would you guys have any more confidence with the lineup? 2019 Alex Nylander or 2024 Lucas Reichel? I mean, at this point, it's a coin toss between that. And then a $5 super chat from Geoist. Thank you, Geoist, for the super chat. We appreciate that. So Mario's going to join us next. Very interested to hear what was said post-game. But first, Greg's going to tell you about how to get some kick-ass new floors.
Yeah, we're talking about, people who know what they're doing. Well, nobody knows flooring better than Empire Today, where you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and that low price guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, they got a lot of copycats out there. We know what that's like. You do something that's successful, all of a sudden everybody wants to look and sound just like you. But Empire can't be beaten on quality service, speed, so competitors advertise low-quality products that Empire, they don't even carry. Empire won't promise the low prices because anyone who does that is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in yours. And that is shady, folks. Don't fall for it. Empire has this great thing. It's called the Virtual Floor Designer, and it's the best way to see how the new floors are going to look in any space. It's very easy. You just take your phone, you take a picture of the room, you use their floor designer, and it's going to instantly show you the floors, how the floors you pick will look in your room. Shopping for floors at the big box stores can be super frustrating, like watching a 9-round shootout between two of the worst teams you've ever seen in your life. You might talk to someone today who was working in plumbing yesterday. Flooring is all Empire does. They live and breathe flooring. Could you imagine that? I mean, yeah, that's the dream job right there. So you can be confident you're getting honest, upfront advice. And they also service their own warranties. So if there's an issue, you just call Empire. They service all the warranties themselves. You won't have to track down a manufacturer's phone number and find out that they've been out of business for 10 years. So schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off when they use the promo code CHGO. That's some serious cheese, my friends. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/CHGO for all the details.
You know who's got nice floors, too? The Midtown Athletic Club.
That's what I hear.
They've got pickleball floors, tennis floors.
I hear you lose teeth on their basketball floors.
Oh, I saw that. That's what you get for playing sports and moving.
That's what you get for being athletic.
Go visit any of their 4 Chicagoland locations: Palatine in the northwest suburbs, Bannockburn in the North Shore, Willowbrook in the southwest suburbs, and Midtown Athletic Club and Hotel in the middle of Bucktown and Lincoln Park. That Palatine location, they've launched a multi-million-dollar transformation of the club, which will be done early this year. And guess what? Right now, Midtown is offering no initiation fees this month at their Bannockburn, Palatine, and Willowbrook locations. That's a great deal. And look, if you're single, you got a family with kids, you're trying to change your life here in the new year, you're trying to get into some holistic wellness, which I know the yoga's worked really well for Greg. He loves it, does it all the time. Midtown's the place to go. It is a high-end place. You're not just walking into some stinky-ass gym. You're going to have a luxurious experience. I mentioned the yoga. They've got boxing, spin classes, cycling classes, cross-training. So much to do there. Go check it out, midtown.com/CHGO to find out more and to set up a tour to the Midtown Athletic Club nearest you. Again, that's midtown.com/CHGO. Now we go out to the United Center and welcome our friend, very young, the very bearded Mario Tirabassi. And he's trending. His tweets are getting picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Some powerful hockey blogs have retweeted your video tonight.
Yeah, appreciate them credited me this time. But yes. Yeah, that was nice of them.
Hey, they remembered that you scolded them last time, so lesson learned.
Yeah, that's what I do, is scold.
Speaking of learning things, what did we learn after this game?
Well, we learned that the the game between the worst 2 teams in the NHL didn't provide us the best aesthetic game that was pleasing to the eye. It was as sloppy and discombobulated and weird in many different ways as we all probably could have hoped for it to be. But hey, Blackhawks come out with a win, and you can't blame me for the loss. For my Petr Mrazek tweet, apologies to him, but he gets the win in a much deserved effort, stopping 37 shots on 38 shots against. It's how many times has he played so well this season and just gotten blitzed or getting no goal support. I mean, he didn't get a goal support tonight, but Hawks were able to force the overtime period, get to the shootout, and it's not how many. It's just, or it's not how, it's how many, and they had enough to win in the shootout here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure at this point, as ugly as it was, they're happy to get that second point. And we're trying to keep that in perspective, but there was a lot of stuff in this game that was concerning. And the worst team in hockey, I know the Hawks aren't healthy, but they're not exactly at full strength either. Anthony Duclair was healthy scratch in this one, so they're missing one of their better players. The Sharks were significantly better in this game, and it had to be a bit of a red flag. I don't know if guys are willing to admit it right after a loss or what Luke had to say, but I did not come away from this one feeling very good about the win.
I mean, yeah, the game wasn't great. You don't want to be outshot the way that they were tonight, but I do credit the Sharks for, second night of back-to-backs after being, beat in Buffalo. Last night they came out and put in a tough game against the Blackhawks and outshot them significantly. And the Sharks had a significant shots blocked ratio compared to the Blackhawks. Like, they were getting in the way of the Blackhawks tonight a lot. Be it bodies or sticks. Like, they were selling out to try and get this win, and they're in a position exactly like the Blackhawks, bottom of the league. Having very few wins in their last dozen or so games. Like, this was a game that both teams, I'm sure, were looking at, circling, saying, hey, we can get a win tonight. And Sharks came out and played a better game overall. Blackhawks, for as bad as they've been this year, as much as their offense has been pretty non-existent, they get the fortune of a bounce tonight on the Guttman goal, and they were able to hang in and force the overtime period and win in the shootout. So it's ugly. Wasn't the best effort. A few guys tonight were significantly carrying this team. I think Philip Kurashev have had a tremendous individual effort. Seth Jones played a big role in tonight's game. Petr Mrazek, obviously, well-deserved first star of the night. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't great, but hey, it's a win. Like, you didn't lose to the worst team in the league. You put it behind you in the win column, which is a good thing to do. Sure. And then you get on the plane or bus or train or snowplow, and you head to Buffalo.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think I was going to ask the same question. The injury bug is back. Connor Murphy missed today's game with a, quote, minor lower body injury. It was sounded this morning, hopeful he'll be back. And then this Nikita Zaitsev left today's game, didn't play the third period. Were there any updates from Luke on either of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in the last 2 days, Greg, I've said to you twice, I wonder why Isaac Phillips is still around. Well,
now we know.
I think it's going to come in handy. Zaitsev was still being evaluated, and Connor Murphy still didn't have a definitive answer on what's bothering him exactly or how long it's going to bother him. Richardson ended his presser saying that their status is probably maybe. So take for that what you will. To me, it doesn't sound like either of them are going to be available tomorrow night. So I would expect Isaac Phillips to likely draw into the lineup. I don't know if Murphy's even going to travel. Zaitsev might travel. I just don't know. We just have no idea what his status is. So I think the safe bet is that Isaac Phillips will play tomorrow night. And right now, I would, by the sound of it from Richardson, I think both Zaitsev and Murphy are probably not going to be available.
It's not good. I mean, I know a lot of people, us included, at the beginning of the year, gave Nikita Zaitsev a hard time, but he's played well.
Yeah.
Like, he's been, at worst, serviceable. And that's a low bar, but it's a good bar to have on this team. So if both of those guys are out tomorrow, that's 2 veterans missing. So more Jared Tenorti to skate way out of position in the neutral zone to make a big hit, and Isaac Phillips, who hasn't played in a while.
Yeah, but I mean, it's good for Phillips to get in. I mean, you don't want it to happen by injury for 2 of your more reliable defensemen this year, but silver lining, Phillips gets some playing time. So we'll see. Hopefully, it's not long term for either Murphy or Zaitsev, because again, they have been 2 of your more reliable defensemen this season.
Yes, I'm sorry. Phillips has not played since January 7th.
And that was the 7D game where he only played like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Too. So that was barely playing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oof.
it'd be a little rusty, I'm sure, but
He's young.
I mean, I want him to play. He's here, play him. Otherwise, send him to Rockford where he could play. I mean, there's still some potential there, and him not playing at all doesn't help.
Yeah, I am surprised they've kept him around, and I know Region Rev, who's with us every show, says Phillips deserves better, and like I kind of agree. And it's not like Jared Tenorti's been playing great. Like today, before that fight, I think it kind of got lost in his shuffle as he goes for a hit.
Well, the reason he had that fight is because he delivered that hit.
Yeah, and like,
but it gave him a 2-on-1 that
he
hit
just
the post.
bailed on the puck to deliver a hit, and
it was a very Nikita Zadorov-ish.
Yeah, like what are you doing, man? And like, yeah,
he did it a second time after that.
I don't know. I don't know. Look, like we say it all the time. Obviously, Luke Richardson and Kevin Dean see things that we can't. Obviously, because if there must be something about Isaac Phillips that concerns them that he's not playing. But holy cow, like Tenorti has been, and I would say overall he was better tonight than usual. And I'm still can pinpoint 1 or 2 moments where you're like, dude, what are you doing? Like that's the guy you want to be safe. That's the guy you want to not be costing you scoring chance. Like the one thing you want from Jared Tenorti is stay home and clear the crease. Don't worry about moving the puck. Don't worry about trying to score. Just when you're on the ice, don't give up a goal. And it feels like when he's on the ice, goals are happening a lot.
Well, this was Jared Tenorti playing tonight because Connor Murphy wasn't available. So I mean,
right.
If Murphy was healthy when Seth Jones came back, Tenorti was out of the lineup, and that's, I am sure, a tough decision for him to swallow as a prideful veteran, and tough for Luke Richardson to make that decision, because we know it's no secret he likes Jared Tenorti as a person and as a player, and as a veteran presence and someone who brings something to the table that not a lot of the Blackhawks defensemen bring. So this is Tenorti getting into this game, because of Murphy being injured. He's probably, I'm sure his mindset is, hey, I need to make some sort of impact, make some sort of play with this opportunity. So stepping up to try and make that hit, that's his game. So I think he's tapping into, this is what I do. I play physical. You'd like him to be more heady on that play. Just keep the puck in front of you. Don't take an unnecessary risk in that kind of game where the Sharks were outplaying you. But I understand what, a little bit at least of probably what his snap decision went into that decision in that moment. So yeah, I mean, look, it's we all agree Isaac Phillips should be playing over Jared Tenorti based off of his importance to his development. And basically just, I think even if you flip a coin, you'd rather it land on Phillips' side than Tenorti's side. But, it's all part of the development plan that this organization is taking with a lot of their young guys. And with the health of Seth Jones being out for, 2-3 weeks, Phillips was up here. He was hanging around, he was around with, Philip Bruce up here and Louis Crevier up here. And both of those guys went back to Rockford before Phillips did. So there's obviously some value in him sticking around, being around the NHL team, practicing with the NHL roster, being with the NHL coaches. Like there's still value to that. And I think, I give the coaching staff and the front office the benefit of the doubt in the plan of having Phillips here when they could have easily sent him back to Rockford to resume his top pair spot there with the Ice Dogs. But now it seems like you don't hope for injuries, but they're kind of in a good spot that he's still here, that it makes it easy that he just gets to go on the trip and is likely in the lineup.
So, yeah, I'm of two minds on this with Phillips. It's like, is he here because they want him close to the team and learning at the NHL level, or are they just saying, like, you know what, we've sort of already determined that Isaac Phillips is not a huge part of our future. He's been leapfrogged by guys we're deeming more important, like Del Mastro and Allen, and I think in their mind, Wyatt Kaiser is ahead of him on the depth chart.
I think it's
that might be it. And they're just like, we don't really care about Isaac Phillips' development, so we're just going to keep him here, and when we need him, he'll play, and so be it.
If they thought he was still one of their top prospects and there wasn't a spot for him here, he'd be playing 22, 23 minutes a night in Rockford.
Yeah. It
like
almost
Del
feels
Mastro,
like they're
like
not
Allen.
concerned.
They put Kaiser back there, like Vlasic last year. They'd be giving him that treatment. And, Crevier would be up here. But Crevier's playing big minutes in Rockford. So
and maybe he is.
maybe Crevier
leapfrogged.
has passed. And I like Isaac Phillips a lot. And I still think he's got the potential to be a third-pairing NHL defenseman. But, first of all, you have Luke Richardson and Kevin Dean, who have over 2,000 games of NHL experience at that position.
Yeah.
So I would take their credibility of watching defensemen over my
100%.
own eyes.
And don't forget, you got Brian Campbell in the front office. Like, you've got guys who have seen.
But are they going to – maybe it just comes down to, like, they like him, they think he's a nice player, but they've got so much coming that they're like, it's just not worth it for us. And at the end of the year – we'll work on a change of scenery type thing, put him in a situation where he can be that guy. Because even if he does stay at the NHL level this year, chances are next year if Del Mastro and or Allen are ready, he's the odd man out. If Kaiser's back up here full time, he's the odd man out. Sam Renzel keeps developing. You draft another defenseman in the first round this year possibly. You can have nice players, but you've got better coming. And it just might be unfortunate that he loses out and he's going to have to try it someplace else.
What's crazy, though, is he is younger than Alex Vlasic. By a couple months, he's younger than Alex Vlasic. He is still so young.
Right.
And it just feels like he's been in the organization forever. And I don't know.
He joined a year early.
Yeah, but I'm just... He is a restricted free agent, so they have his rights. But it just... I'm just going by the way this organization has handled prospects they value under Davidson, under Richardson. If these guys aren't in the lineup and they believe they're part of the future, they're in Rockford. We saw it all year with Reichel last year. We saw it when Kaiser had a really good training camp, a really good preseason, and won an opening day job. And then as soon as he started struggling, like, all right, go hit the reset button in Rockford.
It wasn't as soon as he started struggling, but eventually.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, you got to give it. You can't do it immediately.
Right.
But when you saw consecutive games of Wyatt Kaiser really fighting it, they said, okay, all right, let's pump the brakes, get him back in Rockford, and he hasn't been back. The guys they brought back, Roos, Crevier, etc.
They go out and get Jacob Megna.
Yes,
There's a reason for that because they want Kaiser, Del Mastro, and Allen to be the guys as soon as next year.
Yes.
And it's easier for them to become the guys playing big minutes, all situations in Rockford than playing 11 to 13 minutes, no PK, no power play here in Chicago.
Adam Cloutier says Kaiser has got to be back up. This team needs offense, and he provides more than Tinner, Megna, or Zaitsev. I mean, I just keep him down there and let him play.
Zaitsev shoots the puck.
If you want offense, bring Philip Roos.
Zaitsev brings the puck or shoots the puck. Hey, Jason Megna had a booming slap shot tonight. I know they're not the puck moving guys, but listen, I think Kaiser is going to stay in Rockford as long as possible because they want him to develop there and not here.
Yeah. All right, Mario. Before
sorry,
go ahead.
There's also a delicate balance between ice time at Rockford and being in Chicago because you have Roos, Crevier, Kaiser, Del Mastro, and Allen all taking up minutes in Rockford. So it's one thing to say, yeah, go down to Rockford, play big minutes, but only 2 defensemen are out there at a time. So I think there's a balance between having all the guys that you care about getting minutes in Rockford, being in Rockford, and maybe giving a guy an opportunity to be in the NHL, to be around the NHL coaching, to get NHL video work, to, be around NHL players and have that opportunity as well. Like you said, Phillips is younger than Alex Vlasic. He's 22. He's still very young in his development path as a defenseman. And I'm not at the point where I'm just like, yep, they're going to give him the Ian Mitchell treatment and heave ho, send him on waivers, trade him for something. I don't think that that's necessarily the path they're going to go. And I think, bringing in Magna and playing him and Zaitsev and Tenorti for the most part this season is to keep all of those guys in Rockford this year as much as possible. But when injuries come up, you have to have guys be available. So, I think there's a balance here that Davidson and Luke Richardson and the whole staff is trying to make the most of.
Plus, I think they want the Ice Hogs to be in the playoffs this year, a deep playoff run. And there's some value to that as well. And bringing up all your young kids the second they show some potential takes away from the Ice Hogs. And you would love to see those young D-men play, 2-3 playoff rounds this year. Goes a long way in their development. So that's part of it too. Yeah,
and this season in Chicago it's not for anything. It's to be in the lottery. So, I understand the mindset of being like, this team needs more talent. This team needs to get better. This team needs this guy, and this guy.
Those are all true statements, but not right now.
But no, they don't. They don't need any of that. You're 31st in the league. You're not going anywhere. You're clearly, from your GM's contract extensions recently, you're clearly playing the longer game. 20, 25, 26, 27, those are the years that are going to matter for this team when it needs to be all the guys that are important to this team now need to be here now. So we are getting all the signals that there is nothing but patience and time, and all that is ahead of us. So the instant gratification, get Nolan Allen and Easton Del Mastro up here now, for what? There's no point. This season doesn't matter. Next season, more than likely, also doesn't matter as far as standings go. So I think the clear development plan is as much time as these guys are going to get together in Rockford and have an opportunity to play together, develop together, play important games into March and April together and hopefully beyond. That will do a lot for them when it does become time for, 2 or 3 or 4 guys at a time to graduate from playing in Rockford to playing in Chicago and being a part of, the next wave and next phases of the rebuild.
All right, Mario. Good stuff as always, man. Anything we need to know that we have not gotten to yet from Postgame?
I sent the audio from the locker room, and this is one of the few times we get to hear from Petr Mrazek. But he was available after the game. Definitely fun to hear from him after his performance tonight. Had some nice little tidbits and some chuckles about his future at the organization. So yeah, if you guys get around to playing that, I would definitely bump for that. And who won the helmet tonight? Did I win?
Nope. Wasn't you.
Darn.
It was me. I won the helmet. I'm not putting it on this early. I'm sorry.
No, you got to put it on.
I'm not wearing it for the.
I
hallucinate from the helmet. I can't read.
Pick lesser players next time.
I thought I did. No, I took Big J Dick.
He had the biggest. He had the biggest line.
The biggest what?
The biggest line.
Oh, okay.
And the biggest contract extension today.
Yes. There you go.
So far,
good for him.
There's still 35 minutes in a day to go, my friend.
Yeah.
Petr Mrazek, $100 billion.
All right. Well, we will pay Petr Mrazek on the other side of this break. But thanks, Mario. We appreciate it, man. Drive safely. Stay warm. That walk from the UC to the car was awful. So
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah, I think I might just stay here tonight. I might just, I might cuddle up under Frank Pellico's organ and see if anybody.
Careful. Phrasing.
All right. Hey, man, no judgment.
Anyways, bye.
All right, see you, Mario. Before we break, couple comments I want to get to. Earlier in the chat, a little bit up there, there's a note from Sven where he says, not that one, a little up higher, Steven, keep going. Go. There it is. When will the Blackhawks be a 500 team again? I just want a mediocre to good freaking team again. Just be patient. You don't want a mediocre team. A mediocre team is more entertaining on a night-to-night basis, but it's not going to win you anything.
Mediocre team is the Minnesota Wild and the Nashville Predators.
You don't want that.
No.
And yeah, hey, tonight they beat the Avalanche. Tonight they beat the Vegas Golden Knights, and they made the playoffs. Oh, and they're out in 5 games or 6 games, and we're right back at it the next year, and there's no Stanley Cups. The plan here and the vision here is to get back to a level where this team is competing for Stanley Cups every year. And Sven later asked, are there any other teams that have 4 or 5 year rebuilds that have had success? Look at how awful the Colorado Avalanche were before they got their Stanley Cup shots. They were horrible.
Jared Bednard's first year was awful.
Yeah.
Historically bad. Worse than last year's Blackhawks.
Yeah. Look at the, even
and they were able to get, they had McKinnon already at that point, but because they were so bad, they were able to get Makar. They were able to get, I forget who else some of their top picks are. It's late at night, and I just watched really bad hockey, but they were able to then build their team. Mikko Rantanen,
McKinnon, Makar,
all those other really good guys that play for the
defenseman. Bowen Byram.
Yeah, Bowen.
They've got all these good players that are part of the organization, and that's because of high draft picks year after year after year, and you have to hit on them, of course.
Right.
But we know the Hawks have hit on Bedard. It looks very clear they've hit on Alex Vlasic. Frank Nazar looks to be a pretty sure-fire NHL good player. Kevin Korchinski, he's had his moments of frustration this year, his growing pains, but
there's more coming. There's guys who are going to be big-time factors when the Hawks are really good again who haven't even been drafted yet.
Right.
So it's going to take some time. It sucks. But these were the painful years we knew were coming. One comment I want to get to, I forgot who said it. It might have been Windy City Hockey. We were talking about number 27, who said there have only been 2 good number 27s. Roenick and Oduya. You are forgetting, my friend. You're probably a little young. Former captain Daryl Sutter.
Yeah.
Also number 27. Was pretty darn good. Not the longest career, only 8 seasons, but he had a 40-goal season, a 30-goal season. He was a captain, so we will not besmirch the legacy of Daryl Sutter.
No besmirching allowed. And he always is famous for saying, "Where did Huberto go? Hey, you think he took a shit?" Love that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of would be fun to have covered a Daryl Sutter coach team.
I don't know,
for 1 year,
maybe
maybe
a week.
He's not as bad as some of the other coaches. He's crotchety, but he can also have some fun with it.
Yeah, he's funny.
But yeah, so I just wanted to give our guy Daryl a shout out.
And someone asked what a Mrazek extension might look like financially.
Probably the same as
from
what
Bijan. Don't worry about it.
Well,
if it's a 2-year deal, it's not going to matter. They can give him $11 million if they want.
It will probably be close to what he's making right now.
Yeah,
it will be close to the Foligno Dickinson thing. But for the next 2 years, salary cap is it's not an issue. Especially that's why you're signing these guys for 2 years.
Right.
Because after that, then you have to make some harder decisions.
Yeah. And the Hawks can save some money by switching to electric vehicles. And you know what, Greg? It's getting easier for businesses like the Blackhawks to switch to electric vehicles. That's something we can all get behind for the health of the planet and for the well-being of all of us who share it.
There are very few things that get me excited, like the electric grid.
Oh, my God. You would not shut up about it.
I know. And why I'm so excited about the electric grid is because it's evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs.
Finally.
As we all move with confidence towards an electric tomorrow. That's what the Blackhawks' new slogan should be. Electric
Dr. Keith and
tomorrow.
the Electric tomorrow.
Electric tomorrow. It's going to be electric tomorrow in 5 years. Whether you have one delivery van or, like our guy Steven, a whole fleet of shipping trucks,
He does.
ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make the most sense.
What should Steven and other business owners like him do?
Well, Steven should go to comed.com/clean when he's done looking up workout tips and how to cook steaks and 3 dozen eggs a day to learn about
flaming
the
cheese.
resources, fleet rebates,
my
and
Greek brother.
infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, Steven, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to all electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. It's go to comed.com/clean.
Wait. I'm looking it up right now. Did you say comed.com/clean?
You bet your dumbbells I said that. Go now and see how electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
And yesterday, I told you guys and I told Nick Foligno about Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it was a great read.
And that big-ass swimming pool.
Yes.
Today, I'm going to tell you about Circa Sportsbook on your phone.
That sounds like a much better idea.
Well, they're both great, but one's a little more meaningful to our audience today. They've got those tight money line splits and that low hold model. Their
tight
games
money line
strive to be
splits.
a minus 110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sports books, which may use those dastardly minus 115 or minus 120
Ooh.
splits. Who would do such a thing? Circa Sports keeps as little money as possible on large market bets. Those are futures, like who's going to win the big game, golf tournaments, those sort of things, especially compared to other books. They've got high app limits, and they're very transparent. They're not going to limit you based on your winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit winning players. I wouldn't know. We encourage bettors to download and explore all sports betting apps available, and the people at Circa are confident you will find them to be the best fit for you more often than not. Compare the lines from each sportsbook, and you'll see for yourself, and their customer service is second to none. They have real people behind their brand, and they resolve your issue quickly, and all aspects of the app are being run by human people, not bots.
F the bots.
F the bots forever. Download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also, be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. And if you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. Text GAMB, G-A-M-B, to 833-234, or visit areyourreallywinning.com. All right, we've told you
I am
who
shocked
your
and
Hawk was.
stunned. Before we get to that, shocked and stunned
What?
that the Toronto Maple Leafs had a 2-0 lead on the Edmonton Oilers tonight and lost.
11 in a row for the Oilers.
Kind of hot. Hey, if you like us when we talk about anything besides the Blackhawks, like all NHL stuff, make sure you tune in Thursday.
Today's
at
Tuesday.
2:30. We're going to do an around the league show. There'll be no Hawks practice that day, and our buddy Pete Blackburn of the terrific What Chaos show will be with us in studio to help us chat all about NHL stuff and things. We can
and
make
not-
fun of the Leafs together.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be fun. And not to, we don't want to, pimp ourselves out too much for the company, but What Chaos, if you've not listened to the What Chaos podcast, if you're looking for like a fun, non-problematic,
Non-serious show.
non-serious hockey show, What Chaos is awesome. It is seriously a podcast I look forward to every day. Pete and DJ are hilarious, and what I love what they're doing is they're interviewing NHL players and they're letting their personalities show. Yeah. They had Sean Dursey from the Arizona Coyotes on today's show, and it was great. It was funny. They get these guys to loosen up. It's really worth your time if you're a hockey fan to check out What Chaos. And there's a lot of grab ass, that's for sure. Sometimes Pete can be a little bit
sometimes
racist.
you need a little grab ass.
And Pete hates women. We know that. We'll talk to him about
But
that.
he loves America. If you
He
laugh
does.
during the national anthem, he does not want you on his
Yes,
team.
unlike William Nylander.
Yeah, don't disrespect the troops in front of Pete Blackburn.
We will have to have a discussion about the All-Star jerseys with him, though, because they've come around. I have not.
I like him. I'm sorry, I
come
do.
on.
I like
Did
him.
you see the font on the back?
I kind of like
The
that
player
too.
name?
It's stupid and nonsensical. I go for it.
Looks like a Happy Meal. All right, let's hear from Petr Mrazek
wrong with a
before we
Happy
wrap
Meal?
up the show and
I
get
might
your
stop
votes
for
in.
one on the way home.
That sounds good to me.
Chicken nuggets and cheeseburgers.
I'm going to stop for something else. You know what I did this week? Free plug for Insomnia Cookies. My wife told me Insomnia Cookies has a thing called Cookie Magic. It's $10 a
I
month.
believe in cookie magic.
$10 a month. You get free delivery, and you get a free cookie every day
What?
Whoa, every day?
for $9.99 a month at Insomnia
where is
Cookies.
this magical?
Is that
It's
an
on Taylor
introductory
Street.
rate, or is that like forever?
As long as you keep your monthly thing going, you get a free cookie a day. All you got to do is walk in, show them that you're a member of Cookie Magic, and you get a free cookie every day. So I'm going to try it on the way home. I'm going to bring my wife
And
a
I'm
cookie.
assuming they're open late since they're called.
Yeah, they're open till
Insomnia-
like 1 a.m.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, buddy. Yep. I'm doing it on the way home. I'll let you know how it goes.
Trying to lose a few pounds, and that ain't gonna help.
It's not going to help. I'm sorry.
Do
All right,
they-
let's hear from
do
Petr
they have diet
Mrazek.
cookies?
And then we'll, what?
Do they have diet cookies?
All cookies are diet cookies, of
If I
course.
have a half a cookie, is that considered a
It's
diet
milk,
cookie?
eggs, wheat.
Breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. I made up that bit. No one else did. No problematic comedians from the past ever made that joke.
Nobody in prison can sue us for copyright
Nope.
laws.
All right, let's hear from Petr Mrazek. Then we'll reveal the 4-star of the game, and then we're going to go the hell home.
I don't
Here's
wanna go
Petr
outside.
Mrazek, and maybe nearby.
When it's going on and on like that?
Yeah, it's fun.
You allow yourself to
I like
enjoy that?
shootouts. So I like shootouts. So,
9-round shootout?
I didn't even know it was 9. I stopped counting after, to be honest, after 6 or 7, because I was hoping someone was gonna score.
Do you have
Haven't.
sorry, Dan. Do you have any sense of the tendencies that far down? Like I know maybe the first few guys you know.
I would say the first 3 or 4. I like to watch and see what their moves are, but then it's just you have no idea what's gonna go. So just to be patient.
When Kachuk scored, was it happiness or relief?
Both, and I still had to stop as Adina, right? So guy from CHGO also, so I was really excited for that. I was hoping he's going to go the last one, and I will stop him.
You poke-checked Hurdle too, I think.
I did. He, I watched his few things. He does a lot of moves, and he beat me a little bit there. I thought he's gonna shoot, and then he would try to go around me. So, that was the last option for me.
The 4 straight games you've allowed 2 or fewer goals. I guess what's working for you right now?
Well, I've been feeling good, playing a lot of games, and like I said before, being healthy and focusing on just hockey. It's fun, and playing every game puts you in a game.
You've seen a couple guys sign 2-year extensions here. Would you like to be part of that preseason?
We'll see what how that's gonna be, what's gonna happen. So I'm happy for both of them. They deserve it, and they have the boys in the locker room.
Has your agent had any talks with the team? Or?
Good one, right? You have to ask him, to be honest. I haven't talked to him for a few days.
There is current and future Blackhawks goalie Petr Mrazek. Post game.
Yes, I believe Mrazek is Czech for bridge.
Bridge to Comesso.
Bridge to Comesso.
God, I hope that happens. We
Or
got something
Guyane,
fun in the
whoever.
works. Yeah.
I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, somebody
Why not?
asked me, by the way, like on Twitter, is like, "Oh, is Comesso still the guy?" Because he's sort of fallen off in Rockford.
Again, first year
It's his
pro.
first pro season. Goalies take time.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
it's okay.
He's up and down, but that's what young goalies do.
Yep.
Mitchell Weeks, by the way, shout out to Mitchell Weeks. Shout out his last start.
Nice.
He is 3-0-0 since being recalled. And
Is this something we could read about in tomorrow's rebuild report
you damn right.
at allchgo.com?
Yeah, right around 9 a.m. Check it out.
Beautiful.
Oh, our guy Philip says Mrazek means wind in Czech. All right.
So he farts a lot.
You know, maybe he's gonna blow the breeze into the Comesso era.
That reminds me.
Uh-oh.
your lovely partner Stacy killed me on Facebook. She was on the I'm Fat Podcast fans page.
Oh, the-
And somebody
with the
saw
onions?
ketchup, but she said, or onions, was that what it was?
Yeah.
It says it gives me the winds. I have never heard it. Anyone under
she
90
said that because someone else posted.
Oh.
And she showed that to me, and she lost it. She was crying.
love that term.
So she incorporated. Somebody else posted.
Okay.
You have to go back. It was something about like I like the chili, but I try to get it with no onions because the onions give me the winds.
The wins is such a great
It
term.
is. We got to bring that back.
All right, Ryan is telling us to go to bed. You're probably right, Ryan. I have to get a cookie first. But who is the winner
Cold
of the first
outside.
round of
I
the
don't want to
game?
go outside.
Who do you guys think won this one?
I think Kurashev won.
it was close.
I really don't know.
It's not Seth Jones.
Alex
probably.
Vlasic had 40% of the vote,
All right.
but Philip Kurashev had 47.
Wow.
It was a close
That's a close one.
Good for Phil.
Kurashev was
Seth Jones
really
also
good.
played.
He was really good in this game. Like, he was all over the place. He is playing with all the confidence that Lucas Reichel is not.
Yeah.
Like, he looks fantastic. So, as worried as we are about Reichel, I feel very secure in Philip Kurashev's future with his team. So, I'm excited. All right, let's go home. We're back tomorrow. Pregame at 6. Hawks and Sabres drop the puck at 6:30. And, of course, as we always do, we'll have a postgame show with all three of us here. Steven will be here. It's going to be a fun party as the Hawks take on the Sabres on Wednesday night. So be with us then. 6 o'clock pregame again, as I mentioned. And final reminder, we're powered by our friends at ComEd. It's getting easier for your business to switch to electric vehicles. Learn more at ComEd.com/clean. Thanks to everybody in the chat. On your way out, please smash that like button for us.
And the math ain't adding up.
Yeah, we would appreciate
Had over
that.
200
I did
people
miss
in
a
there.
super chat. I just remembered.
Windy City Hockey, $2 super chat says, feels like Phillips is getting the Ian Mitchell treatment. Perhaps.
The only difference is he was never ever promoted to be a top prospect.
Right.
Right. But
Well-
yes, you're right though. I understand what you're saying.
Flip him for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins?
Okay.
Sure. Sounds good.
Twist that arm.
All right, we'll talk to everybody tomorrow at 6 on the pregame on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.